The wrestling world just exploded. Paul Heyman, the wise man, the special counsel, the man who orchestrates chaos from the shadows, just became the victim. And nobody saw this coming. If you're not subscribed to Hardcore Highlights, smash that button right now and hit the notification bell because you're about to miss the wildest moments in wrestling if you don't. Now let's break down what just happened and why this changes absolutely everything. Picture this: Paul Heyman standing in the center of the ring, microphone in hand, doing what he does best, talking. The arena lights are hot, the crowd is hanging on every word, and Heyman is weaving another one of his legendary promos. This is his domain. This is where he controls the narrative, where he builds empires with sentences and destroys careers with phrases. But tonight, the script got ripped up. Tonight, someone decided that Paul Heyman's words needed to be answered with violence. Out of nowhere, the music hits. Except it's not music anyone recognizes. It's unfamiliar, menacing, different. The confusion ripples through the crowd like electricity. Heyman's expression shifts from confidence to concern in a heartbeat. His eyes dart toward the entrance ramp, and you can see at that rare moment when Paul Heyman doesn't have the answer. The man who always knows what's coming next is staring into the unknown, and for once in his legendary career, he looks vulnerable. Then he appears. Not running, not rushing, but walking with purpose. A figure shrouded in mystery, face obscured, intentions crystal clear. This isn't someone looking for a conversation. This isn't someone hoping to cut a promo or issue a challenge through words. This is someone who came to send a message written in pain. The crowd doesn't know whether to cheer or gasp. Security doesn't know whether to intervene or stand back. And Paul Heyman, the master manipulator himself, realizes he's completely alone. The mystery man slides into the ring with predatory grace. Heyman backs up, hands raised, trying to talk his way out of the situation like he's done 1,000 times before. But words aren't currency here. Not tonight. Not with this individual. And what happens next is something we've rarely seen in professional wrestling. Paul Heyman, defenseless, getting absolutely brutalized in the middle of the ring while the world watches in stunned disbelief. The first strike lands with sickening impact. Heyman crumbles. The mystery man doesn't stop. Another shot. Then another. This isn't a wrestling match. This isn't competition. This is a statement being carved into history with every punch, every kick, every moment that Heyman stays down. The crowd is losing their minds. Some are chanting. Some are shocked into silence. Everyone is recording on their phones because they know they're witnessing something that will be replayed and analyzed for years to come. But here's where it gets even more intense. The mystery man isn't satisfied with just attacking Heyman. He's methodical, calculated. Every move seems planned, like he's been visualizing this moment for months, maybe years. He lifts Heyman up, stares at him, and you can feel the hatred even through whatever's covering his face. This is personal. This isn't about championships or storylines or building toward a pay-per-view main event. This is about revenge, about settling a score that clearly runs deeper than anything we understand right now. The officials finally storm the ring, but they're too late. The damage is done. Paul Heyman is laid out, possibly injured, definitely humiliated. And the mystery man? He stands over Heyman's body like a conqueror surveying his victory, arms spread wide, soaking in the chaos he just created. Then, just as suddenly as he appeared, he exits. No words. No explanation. Just devastation left in his wake and a million questions exploding across social media. So who is this guy? That's the question burning through every wrestling forum, every group chat, every comment section right now. The speculation is absolutely wild. Some fans are convinced it's a returning legend seeking revenge for something Heyman did years ago. Others think it's a new talent making the most violent debut in recent memory. There are theories connecting him to Roman Reigns, to Brock Lesnar, to CM Punk, to people we haven't even thought about in years. Everyone has a guess, but nobody actually knows. And that's what makes this so powerful. Think about Paul Heyman's history. The man has been involved in some of the most controversial, brutal, and memorable moments in wrestling history. He managed the original ECW into legendary status. He's been the advocate for Brock Lesnar during his most dominant runs. He's the special counsel to Roman Reigns during the Tribal Chief's unprecedented reign. Heyman has made enemies everywhere he's been, not through violence but through manipulation, through lies, through using people and discarding them when they're no longer useful. His superpower has always been his mind, his ability to turn words into weapons and strategies into championships. But that's also why this attack is so significant. You can't talk your way out of a fist. You can't manipulate someone who's already decided you deserve to be hurt. Paul Heyman built his entire career on being untouchable because he always had someone bigger and scarier standing between him and danger. Brock Lesnar was his shield. Roman Reigns was his protection. But where were they tonight? Where was the tribal chief when his wise men needed him most? That absence might be just as important as the attack itself. Let's talk about what this means for the landscape of professional wrestling right now. Paul Heyman isn't just a manager or an on-screen personality. He's a kingmaker. He's the person who elevates talent, who provides credibility, who connects the old guard to the new generation. An attack on Heyman is an attack on the entire power structure. It's a declaration that the old rules don't apply anymore, that respect and hierarchy mean nothing to whoever this mystery man is. This isn't someone trying to climb the ladder. This is someone trying to burn the ladder down. And think about the timing. Wrestling is in an incredibly interesting place right now. We've got multiple companies competing for attention. We've got legends returning. We've got new stars emerging. The business is as unpredictable as it's been in years. Throwing a mystery attacker into this environment is like dropping a match into gasoline. Everything could ignite. Alliances could shift. Feuds could explode. Someone we thought was untouchable just proved they're very toucheable indeed. The mystery itself is part of the genius here. In an era where everything leaks, where spoilers spread within minutes, where fans can figure out surprise returns days in advance, we've got something that nobody predicted. That's rare. That's valuable. That's the kind of genuine shock that reminds us why we fell in love with wrestling in the first place. We don't know who this person is. We don't know their motivation. We don't know if they're working alone or if this is just the beginning of something much larger. Some fans are already connecting dots that might not exist. They're remembering every time Paul Heyman betrayed someone, every alliance he broke, every promise he didn't keep. The list is extensive. Heyman has been playing the game longer than most current wrestlers have been alive. He's accumulated enemies like some people collect championship belts. Could this be someone from ECW's past? Someone Heyman screwed over 20 years ago who's finally in a position to get payback? Could it be someone more recent, someone who watched Heyman whisper in Roman's ear and felt disrespected or overlooked? Or maybe it's none of that. Maybe this is someone completely new with a grudge we don't understand yet. Maybe Heyman did something we never saw, something that happened behind the scenes, something that's about to be revealed through weeks of storytelling. That's the beautiful thing about mystery and wrestling, it forces us to pay attention. It makes us tune in next week because we need answers. It generates conversations and debates and theories that keep the momentum building. The attack itself was brutal, but the aftermath might be even more important. How does Paul Heyman respond? Does he come back defiant, ready to unleash Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar on his attacker? Does he show fear for the first time in his career? Does he try to figure out who did this and why? Or does he already know and has been dreading this moment? Heyman is one of the greatest actors in wrestling history. His response will tell us as much as the attack itself did. And what about Roman Reigns? The tribal chief has built his empire on the foundation of respect and fear. Paul Heyman is his wise man, his most trusted advisor. If Roman doesn't respond to this with overwhelming force, his credibility takes a massive hit. But if he does respond, he might be walking into a trap. Maybe this whole thing is designed to draw Roman out, to make him vulnerable, to set up an even bigger attack. The mystery man might not care about Heyman at all. Heyman might just be the bait. Wrestling works best when it taps into real emotions, when it makes us forget for a moment that we're watching a predetermined show. This attack did that. The shock on people's faces was genuine. The confusion was real. The violence looked painful because it probably was painful. Paul Heyman is in his late 50s. He's not a wrestler. Seeing him get attacked like that triggers something visceral in fans because it breaks the unwritten rules about who's safe and who isn't. This is what Hardcore Highlights is all about, capturing those moments that transcend the usual boundaries of sports entertainment. We're here for the shocking returns, the brutal attacks, the moments that make you jump off your couch and immediately text your friends. This mystery man attacking Paul Heyman is exactly that kind of moment. It's water cooler conversation. It's must-see television. It's the reason wrestling still captivates millions of people around the world. So what happens next? That's impossible to predict, and that's thrilling. Will the mystery man strike again? Will we finally learn his identity? Will Paul Heyman get revenge or become more vulnerable? Will this split the entire roster into factions as people take sides? The possibilities are endless, and every single one of them is compelling. This is storytelling at its finest, giving us an explosive moment and then making us desperate to see what comes next. Wrestling fans, we're entering an era of unpredictability and chaos. The mystery man attacking Paul Heyman is just the opening chapter. Make sure you're subscribed to Hardcore Highlights, hit that notification bell, and drop your theories in the comments below. Who do you think the mystery attacker is? What's his motivation? How should Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns respond? Let's figure this out together, because one thing is certain: the wrestling world just changed forever, and we're all along for the ride.